Welcome to Andrew Field Academy. This is our first episode on Nietzsche's famous essay in his excellent Genealogy of Morals, Good Bad and Good Evil. This essay is the first essay out of the 3 in the book. I am the philosopher, learning coach and tutor, Dr. Andrew Field, and today will be an introduction to Nietzsche's essay, Good Bad and Good Evil. If you enjoy listening to this video, please remember to press the like button, click on the subscribe button and turn on notifications. You will help this channel become more popular and spread the word of Nietzsche. As an overview of good, bad and good evil, it will be useful to understand Nietzsche's aim in this text, what motivates him in writing this essay, and to discuss his philosophical target. Quite simply, Nietzsche's aim is to demonstrate that what we think of as good is historically contingent. It is important to note here that clearly Nietzsche rejects that the term good denotes an objective moral fact. Historical contingency means, in other words, what we think of as good is dependent on the way that history has turned out, and if history had turned out another way, then what we think of as good would be different. Let's get more abstract here before I provide a concrete example. Suppose that there are 2 warring armies, and these warring armies each have radically different evaluative judgments concerning good. Army 1 believes that good is the values X, Y, and Z, and Army 2 believes that good denotes the values A, B, and C. If Army 1 vanquishes Army 2, then societies believe that the values of the good are X, Y, and Z, and conversely, should the might of Army 2 destroy Army 1, then societies would believe that the values of good are A, B, and C. So in a nutshell, Nietzsche aims to demonstrate that what counts as good is historically contingent. We believe that good means the values X, Y, and Z, but if history had turned out differently, then good could have meant the values A, B, C, or maybe it would have been the values F, G, and H. As good is historically contingent, not only does it mean that our current evaluative judgment system is X, Y, and Z, but it could have been A, B, C in the past, only to become X, Y, and Z now. Logically, our current evaluative system of good is X, Y, and Z now, but in the future, it could easily become A, B, C, or the values F, G, H. What we value as good is merely a state of history in a time and place, and this state of history could have been otherwise. And in fact, Nietzsche's claim in the essay Good Bad, Good Evil is that good really meant ABC in the past, but due to a warring conception of the good that's now triumphed, we now believe the values X, Y, and Z. Nietzsche published the Genealogy of Morals in 1887, and at that time, Christianity was not only the dominant religion within Europe, but it also informed the social values of the day, just as it does now, although in a different manner. Today, good has been largely secularized, even if it still carries the desecularized underpinnings of Christian morality, and we share with the past of 1887 the following good values. Goodness is being selflessness, being kind and helpful, especially to those in need, loving one's neighbour, and being charitable to the unfortunate. These, according to Nietzsche, are values of slave morality, which is morality of the herd, and morality sprung from insatiable ressentiment, which is a French term meaning desire for revenge and hatred. There are more about slave morality videos in the future. According to Nietzsche, these are your moral value systems of today. These are not objective, timeless moral values. They are simply the moral value system that you have inherited because slave morality has triumphed over master morality. According to Nietzsche, we really did have a different conception of moral values. If you were born in the Roman Empire, for example, you would believe that the values instantiating the good were things like power, strength, domination, selfishness, and so on. And just as you find this conception of the good totally alien, foreign, and incomprehensible, if you were born in ancient Rome, you would find today's conception of good bewildering, confusing, and hard to get your head around. Nietzsche believes that there was a transvaluation of values to the current evaluative judgment system of today, led by the religion of Christianity, based on the story of Jesus and the intoxicating mystical images of the Holy Cross and the crucifixion of Jesus, his death and resurrection. More about this though in later videos. If history had turned out different, then what you believe hitherto as good would not be deemed good in this alternate universe. So Nietzsche's aim in Good, Bad and Good, Evil is to show that the value of good is historically contingent and it depends on how history has turned out. And furthermore, if you wanted to become a superior man and not the last man of today, then you should embrace master morality and not today's slave morality, which is what you think of as good. So why does Nietzsche present this argument? What's the point of it? Nietzsche wants to demonstrate that the current conception of the good is based on extreme ressentiment and that it should be dropped in favour of other alternatives, such as the master morality conception of good. Nietzsche believes and worries that an evaluative system based on ressentiment leads to a mankind that cannot be loved, respected, admired or feared. For Nietzsche, man has atrophied to the status of a worm. He is too caring, too compassionate, too kind, too Christian, too lame. Slave morality prevents the flourishing of higher men. Nietzsche makes clear in section 9 of this essay that Christianity is not his target per se, but is merely a manifestation of the slave morality. Nietzsche says that the church is an impediment to the toxin, and that though modern educated man finds the church disagreeable, he loves the toxin. And that toxin is our current evaluative judgment system, which is Christian in nature, or at least is derived to some extent from Christianity. To be more precise, Nietzsche's real target is any evaluative system that attempts to invert or flatten naturally occurring hierarchies, whereby the plebeian or the masses are vaulted to the top of the hierarchy and the noble or the masters are shunted down to the bottom. To sum up so far, Nietzsche's aim is to demonstrate that what we call good is historically contingent, meaning what we refer to as good is dependent on how history turned out, and it could have been otherwise than which it is. Though Nietzsche's target appears to be Christianity, it is really on the belief system of egalitarianism, as Nietzsche laments the flattening or inversion of naturally occurring hierarchies. These natural hierarchies create a fearsome, lovable, admirable and justifiable mankind, whilst the inversion or flattening of these hierarchies cause mankind to atrophy to a pitiful, good-natured worm. To be even more precise, Nietzsche's target here is egalitarianism. Egalitarianism flattens and sometimes inverts hierarchies. Though egalitarianism promotes the view that everyone is equal, that there are no masters and no slaves, no nobles and no masses, in practice it normally carves out an exemption, creating a higher hierarchy of ressentiment. For instance, everyone is equal, but for those that believe that they are not equals, those that believe that they are higher in some sense are rendered beneath the equals. A clear example of this thought process is exemplified in the notion of tolerance in liberal democracies. Philosopher Karl Popper referred to this as the paradox of tolerance, which itself is a subset of equality and egalitarianism, whereby tolerance is tolerance of accepting all other viewpoints, philosophies, religions and belief systems, except for the viewpoint of intolerance, because the inclusion of intolerance will ultimately undermine any tolerant society. Before I inform you about the contents of the next video, remember, if you enjoyed listening to this video, please remember to press the like button, click on the subscribe button and turn on notifications. You will help this channel become more popular and spread the word of Nietzsche further throughout the internet. And if you have some thoughts on Nietzsche's argument, drop them in the comments, and the best comments will be discussed in a later video. In the next video, I will briefly examine each section of good, bad and good, evil in turn. There are 17 sections in this essay, and each section will receive a label and a quick explanation of it. More extensive discussions of each section will be discussed in the upcoming videos. Lastly, I will categorize groups of these sections and discuss how they fit together within the essay. Hope to see you there.